about nothing because I never, you know what I'm saying? Like the concept of just even adding your location, to something like, for example, when you're about to, upload a YouTube video, there's that tab, that little tab. I think it's next to the date released. You know what I'm saying? As in the date of your upload when it was released. Next to that, there's like a location tab. You know what I mean? And I was asking myself, like, for a minute now, like, yo, what's the point of this? You know what I mean? So I'm just concluding from myself. I spend a whole lot of time by myself. So, I may ask myself questions that I myself end up just answering, bruh. You know what I mean? And for me, I feel like maybe, for example, when advertisers try and come at you, they know where you're from and what demographic we're advertising to. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I think the relevancy of adding your location on there. So I started just like off of that tip. You know what I'm saying? Off of just like understanding it. Well, it may be ignorant understanding, right? It's coming out of my own brain. It's not like I researched it. It's just something that it's an answer that I'm coming up with. You know what I mean? So, hey, I may be right, I may be wrong, right? I don't know. At this point, I'm just freestyling these things, brother. Anyway, what's good, man? ReWAD. We are reacting. It's the reaction joint. Let me make sure I got that cool. Alright, cool. We back good. You know what I'm saying? We back good. I was just testing the sound for a little bit there. It had me thrown off. So I had to restart the recording. So what rap fans don't understand about Spotify monthly listeners. It's been a minute since I kicked it with my boy Curtis King, with Unk actually. Unk vibes. Curtis King, right? But look here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I almost got caught slipping. Look at this. Wait, let me just move that. I almost got caught slipping. Look at what I have here, dog. YouTube. Nah, man, we gotta hop in the premium. What is niggas thinking? Huh? What is niggas on? Alright, cool. Let me just switch on to the account with the premium. Quickly switch on to the premium account before, you know what I'm saying, I get caught slipping in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me line it up right here. Almost lined it up on the wrong thing. Hey, yo, my bad. I'm wasting time. I'm yapping. Blah, 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 right? Don't nobody got any time for that. So without wasting any further of your time, let's get into it.
Fishy, ain't nobody heard from DOJA.
Screenshotting somebody's monthly listeners is weird behavior to me.
What you mean?
Recruitment ad is now interrupting Spotify playlists, leading many to cancel their accounts.
Curtis, DIY.
DIYers, welcome to another episode of Rap Fans Nor Stands Know Shit About the Music Industry. I am your host, Curtis King.
Curtis King.
What made you go with that intro, Curtis? Shut up. Last week, there was an episode of the Joe Budden podcast and more.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. W intros, bro. It's been a minute. Didn't know this guy is rocking with intros these days. Yo, W, nigga.
Specifically, a clip that went viral where Joe Budden brought up the topic of whether or not he and his co-host thought it was fishy that no one had heard from DOJA. The clip didn't really go into much detail about why he felt like that, but the silence in this video caused a lot of conversations on Twitter, a lot of misinformed assumptions about what's going on. Let's start with the clip and then let's get into some more details.
Let's do it.
Fishy, ain't nobody heard from DOJA.
It's about what?
I knew you would say that.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, as in she just came out of nowhere? She just came out of the woodworks? She just spawned out of nothing? From out of nothing? Look, so here's my first question, right? As we are chopping Curtis King's POV down of other people's POV about some shit, right? Yo, what if, like, people just put in work? Let's say even right now, present moment, people are putting in work, you're not seeing any of it. I mean, take me for example. Literally, y'all saw the three subscribers that I got, but peep the number of videos that I got already, right? So that by the time that probably my shit catches on, when my shit catches on, right? It's like you're gonna see all this work and you're gonna have all this content to reference back to. You know what I mean? So that by the time my radar just sparks up from nothing, like maybe I have a viral moment, but there's all this work that if you look back at the track record, there's work put in. It's just you didn't see it. It's the same concept as, you know what I'm saying, if a tree falls in the middle of the woods, no one is there to see it. Did it really make the sound, or did it really fall? Something like that. You know what I'm saying? But just because there was nobody to witness the sound, did it really make the? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have those cases too. You know what I mean? And I know a whole lot of people feel the same way about Jack Harlow. They feel that he was a plan of some sort. I feel like, you know, homie's just been working with his head down. You know what I'm saying? In the shadows, right? Of which it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. You feel me? So, but then by the time that people recognize you, they recognize you overnight, right? I don't know how to quantify. I don't know how people come to these mindsets that they come to when they see somebody, you know, just all of a sudden, but then disregarding the fact that people have been putting work in. Now, I'm not saying anything about Doichi or however you pronounce the name. I'm not, you know, saying anything about her. I don't know. I haven't done my homework on her. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying with the people where it's like subjectively you just bumped into the person right now, but they've just been working to a point where even the industry didn't even hear nothing about the person, right? They're pushing though. You know what I'm saying? Productive with it though. Who do we call those kind of people? And then all of a sudden when the industry catches on to them, there's a whole plethora of things that just like hits the industry because you just bumped into the person right now, right? But it's because they've been working. Are they an industry plant then? You know what I mean? I don't know. Because, okay, last point. In some instances, it's like, that's where your preparation meets your opportunity, right? You've been putting work in. Now that the opportunity is there, it's like you fit into that opportunity like a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? You come off knowing what you're doing. You come off knowing who exactly to talk to, who not to talk. But it's because in the shadows, bro, you were going crazy, like failing. And, you know what I mean? Just learning from other people, watching interviews, blah, 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 right? My bad. That was the last shit.
We can find another topic. Yeah, please. I was just asking y'all.
I don't know what the context is.
I don't know either.
Just
what the industry playing shit?
Industry plantation.
Moving right along.
The industry's plantation.
I'm Parks. They ain't tripping me up. They ain't getting
Why
me
you
up.
asked that question?
Because I thought it would be a little more obvious than it is, but I guess it's not yet.
Not yet.
But it's kind of obvious.
So Dirk is in the news.
Oh my God, for real?
Move on to the next topic. Now, two things I think is really interesting about this, and I know that they're aware of it, but one of those being that, you know, Dochi has been doing spot dates and specifically doing festival shows, and she's been out there promoting and doing the necessary things for an artist that is still in her earlier years and promoting herself. Whether or not it matches, I guess, the activity that she's had on social media, a lot of people took, especially with what Mona said in here about the industry plant conversation. And of course, we had that conversation with Punch, and he let it be known.
Industry plant thing is something that I don't understand. Like, just in general, that term.
It's made up.
Because to me, what it sounds like is you saying, oh, this person's record company is actually working and doing record label things like marketing and promotion and getting your videos shot.
Yeah, again, bro, I feel like it is in the mind of the interpreter. You know what I'm saying? Like what industry plant means at the end of the day. Because you know what I mean? As I said, dog, it's like, say somebody like a Russ. I mean, even a Russ would be a perfect example. A Russ pulled up in the scene, bro. Like, by the time he had decided to, I think he worked with Columbia. By the time he had, because he had an intention to be on the radio and compete on the charts. But by the time that happened, he had all this work done, right? Independently. He had all this work done so that by the time the machine got behind him, he fit in like a glove. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, yo, this guy has no features with nobody, but he's, you know, topping charts and things like. But then in the shadows, he was practicing, putting the work so that he refines his work so that it can compete at a high level when it gets to the tournament. You understand what I'm saying? So there's that aspect to it. And then calling that industry plant then means nothing but a positive attribute, right? Because that kind of skill set, it shows the independence in somebody. You know what I mean? And independence is good. Self-sufficiency is good. It's just, you know what I'm saying, it comes with a whole lot of things, a whole lot of burnout, a whole lot of, you know, even moments where you end up deciding that, you know what, I gotta outsource things. But when the outsource happens, that, you know, you're a well-oiled machine by that time, just you by yourself.
I didn't.
Right.
Putting ads up and the whole thing, like
Utilizing relationships.
yeah, like if you putting that on somebody who is actually generating interest, then your point don't apply.
Somebody here put up this stat, and I thought it was really interesting because I think that people use and really weaponize this thing about Spotify monthly listeners without a proper understanding of how this thing works. And I don't really see a lot of people.
Man, come on, Curtis, man. Let's break it down, brother. Come on, brother. You ain't getting it twisted, right?
Break this down.
Let's
We're gonna
go.
do that today so you get a better understanding about what it is that you're actually saying. I'm gonna just say,
Let's
for
do it.
starters, screenshotting somebody's monthly listeners is weird behavior to me. Unless you're somebody that is a fan of an artist and you want to document their growth, unless you're part of their marketing team, it's kind of weird behavior to me. But this person said here, all within less than a year, mind you, her monthly listeners dropped from 59 million to 25 million. Smoking gun, I guess, huh?
Let's go.
Well, it seems like the numbers that they're using, which are obviously Spotify monthly listeners, they don't quite have a grasp on. But thankfully, Brian Z does. I just want to make sure folks ain't out here looking crazy, even though stans have no problem doing that. Brian Z says, every week someone screenshots an artist's monthly listeners and writes, how do they have 20 million listeners but only sold 8K first week?
Break that down.
Let's go over why this stat is one of the most misunderstood in all of music. It might just save a few of you from looking dumb. Well, I don't think they
Brian Z.
Break it down, Brian Z. First, monthly listeners are not fans. They can be fans, but that's not what's being measured. Monthly listeners are the number of unique DSP users who've streamed an artist's music at least once for 30 seconds in the past 28 days.
So it's not like a subscription thing. It's not like you click that follow or subscribe and then that's what the monthly listener count, you know, reflects. Because I always thought it was that. It was, you know, in Deutsch's case, 59 million people who clicked follow. Right? But that's not the case. What? So it's people who streamed at least 30 seconds. Streamed your shit once every 30 seconds in the past 28 days.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Then you're a monthly sub
So for those
listener?
of you that thought when you go to a Spotify page, shout out to my dog here, Dime a Dozen. I'm not logged in, but if I click this follow button,
Dime me a dozen.
that doesn't immediately make me a listener.
Oh, Dime a
of
dozen.
Dime a Dozen. That just makes sure that I get notified whenever he has new activity and new music. But that does not make me a monthly listener.
Wait, say that again?
Immediately make me a listener of Dime a Dozen. That just makes sure that I get notified whenever he has new activity and new music. But that does not make me a monthly listener. What do you mean, Curtis?
What do you
Does
mean?
clicking follow make me a listener? No. Clicking follow does not count you as a listener. Spotify treats followers and monthly listeners as different metrics. Followers, people who follow, who tap follow on the artist's page. This number is relatively static and reflects long-term fan interest. Monthly listeners, unique people who actually streamed at least one of the artist's tracks in the last 28 days.
So unique people, like not the same person, but somebody new, somebody who's just newly bumped into your thing by just having Spotify on their right? On their device, and then now your song kind of played after the song they was listening to, and then they kind of developed some sort of interest, listened to your song for at least 30 seconds. Now they count as a monthly listener. That's what I'm gathering. That's what I'm gathering.
You can follow an artist and never press play. You'll count as a follower, but not as a listener. If you stream a song once without following, you'll count as a listener, but not as a follower. First of all, using Spotify metrics when they so damn sus as a talking point, I think is pretty sus, especially in these times. We'll talk about that in a second. Continuing on, the monthly listener count is a rolling 28-day total, not an indication of lifetime popularity or current fan base metrics. For those who think it's all bots, oh, see, the bots got disappeared. That's what happened. Oh, that's what's going on. It's a conspiracy. No, this number literally resets every single day. If someone streamed a song 29 days ago but hasn't streamed it since, they're no longer a listener. See how that works? Two things affect monthly listeners counts more than anything, says Brian. One, editorial playlists like Rap Caviar, which that obviously goes through its own cycles where a song will be added to a playlist, and then once it kind of ends its cycle, another one will replace it.
And even I feel like, okay, again, my understanding, it may be some sort of understanding that comes out the side of my head. You know what I'm saying? You know how people will be like, yo, you talking out the side of your neck when you're talking shit. I may be thinking shit, but I feel like, you know, with the whole playlisting thing, that's where you get things like unique monthly listeners, right? Like unique people that just bump into your thing because of the fact that I'm just here for the playlist, right? I'm just here jamming the playlist. You know what I mean? So if it happens that I don't skip your song you know what I'm saying? If I don't skip your song and the 30-second mark hits, then, you know what I'm saying, I'm automatically onto the matrix as that monthly listener. You know what I mean? But then again, it doesn't mean, you know, it's one of those people that are attached to the music where it's like I follow everything. I'm gonna buy every piece of merch. I'm gonna be at every show. I mean, in that case, then you can have like 10 million monthly listeners, and only 500 people show up to a show, because 500 people actually count as the follow. So then where do we see the follow count?
Affects monthly listener counts. Two,
where is it reflected?
Specifically to Adochi, she doesn't put out a whole lot of music as of recent, but recency plays a role because it means how recently an artist has released new music on their profile,
okay, cool.
And that affects their monthly listener count. Let's say a song lands on a popular playlist. The artist will see a massive spike in monthly listeners, but then when that song comes off the playlist or the DSP makes changes to their algorithm, which happens all the time, the listener count can drop just as fast. This is normal, not implied failure.
And I'm gonna tell it.
Oh boy, the empathy I have for artists that create on this scale and how much of their value is attached to these made-up metrics that somebody who sat in a room with a Daniel Ek told you was valuable is insane to me. Beyond the normal pressures of just creating the best art that you can.
Crazy.
It's best to view monthly listeners like impressions on social media. It is a measure of total reach. Fans are active listeners who go out of their way to press play. Most monthly listeners are passive listeners who hear a song because the service serves it up to them. The monthly listener stat can be useful, primarily for gauging current visibility and momentum, but it is not a reflection of relationship depth, fan loyalty, the ability to sell hard tickets, or community. Yeah, you got to go outside for some of that information. So next time you see a post with a screenshot questioning an artist's popularity or legitimate growth based strictly and likely disingenuously, heavy on that, on their monthly listener count, remember, it's just a snapshot in time of how many people heard at least one song.
Yo, that's it? But then, hold on. So, say I hear your song that one time, you know what I'm saying, for 30 seconds. And then I count as, you know, one of the monthly listeners. How long do I get reflected as a monthly listener? Is it forever, or... That's where that 28 days comes in, right? So I only get reflected as a monthly for just 20. Oh, monthly listener. Okay, 28 days. Okay, cool. So it's just for a month.
Somebody gonna have to tell it, and I'm gonna you know, when they try to throw those type of things on, like say for instance a Kendrick Lamar after the Super Bowl, and then they saw a drop off, they said it must be the bots. It's the bots. See, that's evidence of the bots. Or this makes sense if someone performs somewhere like, I don't know, a Super Bowl, and a few people heard Squabble Up for the first time and thought, wow, this Kendrick Lamar guy has a couple of catchy songs, let me go listen to it on Spotify. Does not necessarily make them a fan, But if they've been listening in the last 29 days, it makes them a listener. The timing is weird because obviously, you know, stan culture has positives and it has negatives. The positives is that I think it builds an economy for artists that attract a very passionate and dedicated fan base who is all about them. It's great to see people passionate and excited about their favorite artists and going to bat for them, because we've come out of an era where a lot of fans were apathetic about the music of their favorite artists. They were saying how old it was after 2 weeks, and that still happens, but it's dope to see that. The negatives come with now you have fans who think that they're music executives. And they're so obsessed with numbers. Matter of fact, Denzel Curry had a post.
But do you blame them though? Like, this game has developed into something that puts so much value on the numbers above the creation. It's crazy.
On his Instagram stories where he says,
that's
if
a
you're
fact.
a fan, stop concerning yourself with the numbers. Concern yourself with if the music or art is good. Y'all miss out on greatness by looking at sales. Sales that can obviously be manipulated by those with interest to manipulate.
That's a fact.
Shout out to my guy, Mickey Fax. He has some statements on this as well. I want to go ahead and play that here now.
Let's go.
Miss out on greatness by looking at sales. Some of the best music comes out from people that y'all never even heard of. Like, how y'all fans of the content bringing up numbers when y'all got friends that's making music and you ain't supporting them? It don't make no sense to me, man. It's important for y'all to stop comparing artists because of who heard it the most. A lot of that is marketing. Is the music good? Is the skill level high?
That's the question.
Does it make you feel good? Is it a vibe? That's what's important.
If you allow the numbers to dictate your listening experience, it may represent a good chunk of people who have a very passive way of doing it, but be careful when you're using numbers like Spotify monthly listeners, because damn it, you never know what side of things you may look like you're on.
You never do.
Boy, did you see this here? So some Spotify listeners, in the middle of their listening experience, they heard ads for ICE recruitment.
ICE recruitment ad is now interrupting Spotify playlists, leading many to cancel their accounts.
And I get an ad, and it starts with...
Isn't it the same thing as that Jet 2 holiday ad? I just hear it, and that's a TikTok one too. I just hear it, boom, in the middle of just any video, any person, because, you know what I'm saying, I be like around people that be consuming a whole lot of TikTok around me. So I just hear the same ad. I'm like, bro, this is the same ad that I heard when I was standing next to the 8-year-old kid. Bro, ain't you like 64? You hearing the same ad. I'm looking at somebody around my age. I'm like, yo, dog, let me see what you're checking out on TikTok. I check out that boom, Jet 2 holiday. We're in the Jet. I'm like, dog, something's up by these kind of ads, dog.
Millions of
What?
dangerous illegals are rampaging the streets.
Join the mission to protect America.
Whoa, okay, this one's agenda seems threatening.
$50,000 and generous benefits. Apply now. Join.ice.gov and fulfill.
ICE.
Yeah.
ICE.
And when Spotify got called out, Spotify
What?
said, we ain't gonna start running these ICE ads.
What?
This post here on Sound Find says the
It sounds like they got some political agenda behind them, bro. A toxic ass political agenda, a threatening ass political agenda, bro.
dystopian move comes amidst a growing chorus of voices boycotting the service for its connection to AI weapons companies. So we live in dark times in the midst of ICE and the DHS invading American cities with little oversight. Spotify has decided to run recruitment advertisements for them. In response to growing condemnation, a Spotify spokesman said it is a part of a broad campaign the U.S. government is running across multiple platforms, not just Spotify. The content does not violate Spotify's advertising policies. Artists and users are not.
Why you got that big ass smile in your face, man? Curtis, man, what's up, man? Happy?
Yeah, the monthly listeners, you know how you get over there basically becoming a walking banner and walking billboard ad for Spotify. This is what you're standing on the side of. No. I'm just talking about the numbers.
Bjork,
Stop using
bro.
Spotify.
Wait, hold on. Bjork recently told the Swedish publication Dagens Nyheter that Spotify is probably the worst thing that has happened to musicians. The streaming culture has changed an entire society and an entire generation of artists. Of course it has, bro.
high numbers and doing jobs that you're not getting paid for. Bjork said recently that to a Swedish publication, Spotify is probably the worst thing that has happened to musicians. All of them. No matter if they get numbers or not. The streaming culture has changed an entire society and an entire generation.
Shift the whole value of this art thing, dog.
Yikes. It is a tricky world out here, and I would hope after you're seeing so much of the power be put back into the hands, not even put back, taken back by independent artists who are giving you the best art that they can, who are going direct to consumer and doing business directly with you.
That's the
without
way.
a middleman changing the art or changing the packaging, changing the way that it's brought up to you marketing wise. They're just talking to you, financing and funding their own art through music videos, through their own innovative ways of packaging and promoting and moving their music. Now that they are in charge, it would be a damn shame for you as a fan or a stan to turn into the new rap executive.
And the sad thing is that we get to this point where somebody does put the work in, you know what I'm saying, to be self-sufficient as an artist, to be self-efficient as an artist, you feel self-optimal as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Just to get turned, just to get turned away as an industry plant, bruh. Just to get dismissed as an industry plant. And I feel like that also is, is a derivative of this kind of value being sucked away from the art itself, the music itself. You know what I'm saying? By platforms like Spotify. You feel what I'm saying? The value is little to non-existent, to a point where people get on these mind frames about music. You feel what I'm saying? Where they feel like, nah, man, these numbers, like the numbers can tell a very false story, bro, that make you feel like, oh nah, the artist, he must be or she must be an industry plant, bro, because of these numbers type thing. Bro, numbers can just like change and be manipulated and blah 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 overnight, dog. That's why somebody can just blow up overnight, and you know what I mean? And then that can be valued highly, whereas that blow up is not even valuable because it can disappear just as quick as it pulled up. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But the art itself, the mastery of the quality of the art itself, bro. It's said that the value has been sucked away from that space into like unknown territory or unwanted territory. It's crazy. Alright, cool.
Industry plants are artists.
Another one of industry plants. Come on with it. Come on. We're talking about these plants today, man. Industry plants that failed, right? That have tried this thing out, tried their luck at industry plantdom. And you know what I'm saying? Have it fall flat to its face. Let's see what happened.
Artists that are industry plants are artists that are planted in the music industry by labels or other important people.
Help me
Sometimes
understand.
They can be hard to spot, and sometimes they are painfully obvious and generic, which can deter people from wanting to listen. And those are the people that we're going to be checking out today. So today I have gathered 4 artists that were planted in the music industry but failed to grow. But first, let's quickly define what an industry plant is.
Let's go.
So the term industry plant is thrown around all the time, with tons of people giving it different definitions.
Why?
For example, when you Google industry plant, the definition is artists who have only just started in the industry and are then picked up.
Who have just started in the industry. Now, the one thing that I want clarity on is that, okay, cool. Now, since obviously the industry is not the music itself. The industry is not the art itself. The industry is not the artist itself. An artist could have been like pushing for the past 20 years. And I'm talking about progressive production. You know what I'm saying? Things that, you know what I mean? You can see the progress. You can see the improvement. But only by the time that they step into the scene with all the skill that they have, to a point where they can lap people, you know what I'm saying, easily, without any features. How are they plants? Because if that's not the case, help me understand what is, because it seems like it's those kind of artists that have been put industry plant. Now, there are obvious ones where I can agree that, okay, this is definitely an industry plant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, artists where I personally haven't spotted no prior work. You know what I'm saying? Somebody steps in the scene, nigga got like 2 mixtapes out. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got 2 songs out. You know what I'm saying? but at the same time he's like doing the most up there. You feel me? That's a clear industry plan. That's what I think an industry plan is. But it's like now that title has been shifted towards the, you know, the wrong people. I just want some clarity here with Matty Balls, right? Pause, right? Matty Balls, that's the name of the channel. You can peep it if you want. If you missed it on that first round of, you know what I'm saying? There we go, Matty Ball. You feel? Hold on, don't come at me. You know what I'm saying?
By a major label and groomed to be a star. But the issue with this definition and many similar ones is that it can be applied to a lot of artists. The whole point of a label picking up an artist in the first place is to help them blow up. A better definition is an artist who is a major/indie label backing their movement but presents themselves as a homegrown startup to create the illusion of an organic following. But the issue with this definition too is that whether or not you're an industry plant, a lot of artists aren't very talkative about their label, and a lot of artists like to run with the did it on my own narrative. So that doesn't really help narrow down the list. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to define industry plants as artists who sign early in their careers and have their image created mostly by the label as some sort of marketing gimmick. What I mean by this is that these artists have their personality, their music, and their style tailored to a certain audience, which typically comes off as very inauthentic. You'll see what I mean as we go throughout the rest of the video, so let's start off with one of the most notorious industry plants that there is, Jumex. So Jumex is one of the first
Jumex. Never heard of Buddy.
That people tend to think of when it comes to industry plants. He's an artist who started blowing up in 2019 after the release of his song Loner. However, it was pretty apparent right off the bat after the release of his first song Trapped that he was an industry plant. The song was a cookie cutter yell rap song where he's yelling the hook and then he raps a verse while forcing his voice to sound like this. The chorus was these lyrics repeated over and over again. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well get high. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well just die. And I don't mind mediocre lyrics and stuff being repeated. Like Lil Pump is a good example, but at least Lil Pump had some sort of...
Why is that guy's lyrical vocab, you know what I'm saying, or lyrical just skill, why does it resemble that of that guy D4VD, dog? Like that creepy gothic, you know, imagery and theme within the lyrics. That's, you know what I'm saying? And these guys, you feel me? Look at how that guy David turned out to be, bro. It's like, yo, if you have this kind of coding in your lyrics, bro, come on, bro. You gotta be investigated further.
Character and some charisma that made the song fun. Jumex's song was just, hey,
nah, that was just a troll, my bad, y'all.
X is popular, let me try to copy that. But the reason it was apparent that he was an industry plant because of this song is because it was his first song and it had a music video directed by ex-Odd Future member Taco, who's pretty up there in the music industry. And he was already signed when this song was released. So then it begs the question, how did Jumex get planted? Well, Jumex was your average high school SoundCloud rapper who was fascinated by music from artists like...
You could tell by the hair, you know, the green hair, it's giving very Lil Pump type, you know, SoundCloud type energy.
Lil Peep, X, and others.
Lil Peep, X, and others, yes.
Before he was planted, but it was even worse than his newer stuff.
You were never there, hearts broken to despair. I saw you in the summer, just a girl with long hair.
It just sounded like some Lil Peep inspired music with poor production. And that's how all his music was at the time. And on top of that, he was trying to look the part of a SoundCloud rapper as well. However, he went somewhat viral after posting a video online where he was smoking in his class and yelling "World Star." This video caught the attention of Bradley Scoffern. Bradley Scoffern is a guy who's worked a lot with Odd Future. He used to help manage Tyler the Creator and worked with Golfwang. He had been working with them as early on as 2012 and also worked as a carnival director at Camp Flognaw. So people theorized that Bradley found Jumex from this video, heard his music, decided to invest in him, hooked him up with some industry connections, and therefore planted him in the music industry. People have also said that the label he was with, Corton Records, was created by Bradley, made to look like some indie label, even though there was tons of money behind it. Like I said, this isn't a confirmed fact, it's just speculation, but it would make a lot of sense as to how Jumex got all these industry connections. People also theorized that Bradley had Taco direct his first music video and song, and Taco even played it during his DJ set at Camp Flognaw in 2018. His following song, Loner, was released shortly after Trapped, and he had writing assistants from I Love McConan who actually helped him on a bunch of other songs, which is kind of sad when the songwriting is so terrible. There's also screenshots of Jumex asking people to write him a song.
Oh my god. Did he have like some sort of community or anything like that? Because this is kind of like streamer behavior, you know, these streamers that have like mods and shit like that can, you know, do their bidding for them. You feel what I'm saying? So he's giving streamer vibes. He just should just jump into streaming. I don't know if there is anything such as industry plans with the streaming game. right? But the whole botting thing, you know what I mean? The whole stream bots, that could create things like industry plants within the streaming industry, right?
Got a genius interview for this song and people clown.
Now this nigga asked people to do it. Like, it was like, yo, fuck allegations, bruh. No, I'm coming out with it. You know what I'm saying? With the fact that I need people to write for me. Fuck allegations, bro. I need ghostwriters. Hey, man, the boldness of these new niggas, bruh. Well, new at the time. You feel me? They probably like, this guy's like a grown ass man right now. You know what I'm saying?
Clowned on it.
But yeah, crazy.
With top comments like, Jumex looks like a Monster Energy can personified. Jumex also did this thing where he just glamorized being sad because it was trendy.
Sad boys, yes, the sad boy era.
Type of
sad baby
era. So with a little bit of digging, it looks pretty obvious that he was planted in the music industry. And after releasing some EPs and singles throughout 2019 and 2021, collaborating with people like Lil Xan and Travis Barker, it seems like he parted ways with Corton Records. His numbers started slowing down, and Corton probably realized that their investments had failed, so it's likely that they pulled out, or maybe Jumex left them, I'm not sure. So as of now, he's been releasing his latest songs independently with little to no success. I honestly think that the reason he failed is because his first impression was so terrible. The music wasn't great right off the bat, and the industry plant thing was so apparent. In my opinion, his music did get a lot better over time, but because people had these preconceived notions about him, they didn't really want to check his newer stuff out. And that's
the thing, like, with this whole industry plant lore, bro. Like, if you get developed under that, it gets hard for people to get away from that construct that they've built for you in their heads, right?
To our next notorious.
And that's unfortunate, because now it's like you lose people that would have messed with you, right?
This industry plant, Baby Goth. So Baby Goth is an artist that just appeared one day.
What the hell? Oh shit! I thought it was like a guy, you know. I thought she was a guy, you know, with that look, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, you know, these gothic artists, bro, they can come off as like sexually ambiguous, right?
Onto the scene when she was featured on Trippie Redd's album A Love Letter to You 3 on November 9th of 2018. Shortly after that, she released her first song, Swimming, with Trippie Redd and Lil Xan. So right off the bat, she looked like an industry plant. I mean, her first song wasn't even out and she was already on Trippie Redd's album, but there's a bit more to the story.
Hey, you know what kind of situation that might have been, bro? You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that cheek action, yo. You come on the album, plus you don't sound too bad. Fuck a history of release music. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if you ain't got nothing released, yo. Let me crack them shits open, and then, you know what I'm saying, you can go on ahead and get in the, you know what I mean, get your foot in the door type
Before she
shit.
became Baby Goth, she was always
Hey, it happens. It happens.
In music. She started making music under the name Bria Bueno and had been doing covers and
Bria
releasing her own
Bueno.
music. She was even with an indie label called ReWAD Records. In 2016, she posted an Indiegogo campaign with the attempt to raise money so she could make an EP. Unfortunately, though, she only raised $320 out of her $14,000 goal. Eventually, she was able to release her EP called Babyface, which was more like a pop-sounding project that was actually pretty decent. She had a pretty good voice, and I think she could have had more potential with that had she not rebranded. Baby Goth was doing a ton of things to try to get noticed, and she claims that she was eventually noticed by some people in the industry who found her on their Explore page on Instagram. She then signed to Republic Records, which is a branch of UMG, which is one of the big 3 record labels in the music industry. And when she got signed, she underwent a huge rebrand, covering up her previous career and creating a new image, which is a theme we see among many other industry plants. Her new image was face tattoos, flexing money, and posing with guns. Her and her label were also seemingly hiding the fact
It's over with. It's over with.
That she had a husband and 2 kids, so clearly her label was trying to make her appeal to a certain audience, which, like I said earlier, is a marketing gimmick. Baby Goth then began blowing up after her first few songs. However, though, shortly after she started releasing music, she was exposed by a YouTuber named Progress, who basically proved she was an industry plant. He even found a video of one of her managers saying himself that he made her entire image and brand. He said that she was like a potato with no personality, so he gave her one.
She has no personality, so I was like, since a person can't speak, you gotta make them look cool, right? So we get a cool name, right? All we had to do, get face tats, because all these artists got face tats, right? So you build a aesthetic, you build a brand, right? So when she walks into the office, she looks cool. I mean, that's all labels want.
And that was insane to see. I cannot believe that he admitted that online for people to see. And honestly, her music as Baby Goth wasn't even that bad. Like, I'm not gonna go listen to it personally, but that brings me to another point that I want to make in this video. At the end of the day, in my opinion, if the music's good, that's all that matters. Anyway, she released an EP and continued releasing music.
And I feel like that was the energy with the SoundCloud era too. It was like, yo, as long as the music is fire, bro, we mess with it. We mess with you. You know what I'm saying? We always gonna mess with it. You know what I mean? That was like the whole, I'm not gonna lie, that was the comforting thing. When I saw that kind of energy like around niggas, like, yeah, that brought hope around like the drop of music. You know what I mean? People still cared about like how it made us feel, how it joined us together, it connected us. It wasn't even about the quality as much though, if you think about it. You know what I mean? And at the same time, that era produced solid artists to this day. I mean,
throughout 2020, including a song with Slim Jimmy. But as she kept releasing, the numbers continued going down. The fact that she was an industry plant and her music seems so inauthentic is most likely the reason why her career didn't work out. She's been teasing new music to this day, but has not released anything since 2020. Our next industry plant is Sorry guys, 1 second.
Come on, man.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, I'm watching your new video and I love your shirt.
How are you seeing the video? I'm filming it right now. It's not even out.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, where'd you get it?
Oh my god, chill out. Yo, this might be a shot at Biden, bro. The fact that he's so old and he's so wise, he already knows how the episode is gonna go tomorrow. You know, he's so wise, like his energy goes to the future and beyond and back and running laps like that. Right? No? Bad joke?
Get that shirt.
Well, I got this industry plant themed shirt that I'm conveniently wearing in my video about
right.
Shipping. Yo, so I'll catch whatever, man.
But Biden though? Hey man, using Biden to run your ad is, hey, it's a bit diabolical work, son.
Not too hard to remember. So yeah, make sure to check out the shirts if you're interested. Anyways, back to the video. Our next industry plant is someone with one of the most fascinating origins out of anyone else on this list, and his name is Smiles. So Smiles is a rapper whose name
Bro, so far, it's nobody that I've ever heard of. I'm bumping into these artists today.
Sound familiar?
Smiles, I don't know this guy.
Album Tattletales on the song Charlie. He released his first song as Smiles.
I mean, he looks like 6ix9ine, bro. It's only right.
A day
it's on
before
brand.
that 6ix9ine song came out, and has been releasing music consistently ever since. He hasn't seen much success and has only had one song since then crack 1 million plays, and that was the song
with
Snoop Dogg.
What?
Happy. So how did an extremely small rapper get featured on 6ix9ine's album and get a feature from Snoop Dogg?
Probably extremely expensive, extremely wealthy sponsors or parents.
Spanning over a decade before becoming Smiles. But I do consider him an industry plant of some sort, and you'll understand why.
Wait, say that
I
again?
can't say whether or not he's a traditional industry plant because he's had a career spanning over a decade before becoming Smiles. But I do consider him.
Then you see what I'm saying? That was my thing about the whole thing. Why do you still consider him an industry plant though?
Him an industry plant of some sort, and you'll understand why after I explain.
Why?
So I think we should start with Smiles' dad. His dad is a man.
I knew it. Extremely wealthy parents or extremely wealthy sponsors, of which obviously your parents could be your sponsors.
By the name of Bruno.
But why didn't they sponsor his ass like 10 years before that? Because he's been grinding his ass off 10 years before that, right?
Scalo, who's a multi-millionaire with an estimated net worth of $575 million. Now, the reason I think this guy's his dad is for 3 reasons. 1, he follows Smiles.
For 3 reasons. One of them reasons better be the fact that his dad got his dick wet into some lady's V card, you know what I'm saying? And busted a nut. Raw dogged it, you know what I'm saying? That's an obvious reason why it's his dad,
fan
man.
page on Instagram. 2, they both have the same name. 3, he mentioned in an interview he has a son in a rock band in LA. And you
4 is because his dad busted that nut, nigga. Come on.
may be wondering,
why we slow?
Smiles a rapper? Why'd you say that he's in a rock band? Well, that article is from 2011, when Smiles was in a rock band by the name of Drive A. He was the lead vocalist and guitarist, and I'm not gonna lie, their music was pretty solid. The band was formed in 2007 and put out music until 2011. They released 2 full-length albums, and they were actually pretty successful. Drive A has a music video with over 160,000 views. And there's a ton of people in the comments saying that they actually missed the band or that they saw them live on tour with other bands. However, I can hardly find any information about this group, and after breaking up in 2011, Smiles joined another band called Raw Fabrics under the name Jack Franco. They started the band in 2011, and by 2014 the band had just finished a nationwide tour that they headlined and then released their debut EP, Gold Handcuffs. In 2015, after releasing their second EP, it seems like the band split, leaving just Jack Franco, who is now going by Jack Bruno. He was also struggling with drugs, which may have had a hand in that. Jack Bruno was active as Raw Fabrics until 2016, when he decided to go solo as Jack Bruno, but instead of making rock music, he made rap music. I believe he started releasing rap music in 2017, and that's when his career got extra weird. He had songs featuring Famous Dex, who was super hot at the time, and he also had a song with Playboi Carti. For some reason, some of his music was released as 92 Jack, so it seems like he's been having identity issues throughout his career. Regardless, he was somehow very involved in the industry and had tons of connections. He's opened for artists like Wiz Khalifa, Juice WRLD, Lil Pump, Lil Skies, 6ix9ine, and Ray Shremmerd. It's left a lot of people wondering how he was able to get these connections, and I've seen some people speculating that he paid for them, and that would make sense since no one really knew who he was and he was even booed off stage at some points. I feel bad for how hard he was clowned on, but the music was kind of cringy, like this live Dunkin' Donuts performance he did.
Trying to eat a diet, then you eat a donut. When you're trying to stay sane, then you up and go nuts.
Anyways, he released a lot of music as Jack Bruno, although most of it's been deleted from streaming services. But then in 2020, Jack Bruno again rebranded to Smiles, whose persona was essentially that of a 2010 smiley face emoji. It seemed like he was trying to have a similar image to 6ix9ine. He came out as Smiles under Create Music Group, which is the same group that has worked with 6ix9ine, YNW Melly, and more. So people speculate that the reason he has all of these connections isn't because a label scooped him up and tried to make him an industry plant, but instead people speculate that he's just asking his dad for money so he can pay for these extremely expensive features and pay to open for people on tour. So that's why I'd say he isn't a traditional industry plant. It's more like he used his dad's money to actually plant himself in the music industry.
Yeah, no, I think, you know what I'm saying, the thing is, he was not wise about, like, even, you know, rebranding the whole time, changing his name the whole time, changing the whole time, because now it's like, when people have to now search you up, you know what I'm saying, and keep track of what you're doing. I'm talking about the people who are at a distance from you, who, because there probably might be that small, you know, group of people that are beside you or around you, like, regularly, to a point where they can spot you in the face that, no, it's still the same guy. He's just changing his names and his aesthetic and the music the whole time, right? So now imagine the people who are at a distance who have to keep up with the, you know, the identity that he first started off with. Now 2 years later, you changed it. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, cool, you develop a little bit of traction, a little bit of momentum from the new identity that you create. And then like a year and a half later, or maybe even 4 years later, you change that identity. And it's like, bro, how do we keep track of you the whole time? Man, shut the fuck up, bro. Who am I get? What the hell, bro? It's gonna piss me off, bro. You know what I'm saying, though? But it's like, yo, at that point, it's like, how do we keep up with you? You're shooting yourself in the foot at that moment. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you having the access to having such a wealthy dad to a point where you can't get yourself in front of these people who are in the game, who are in the industry, but you're just like, maybe your ways are just so goofy and so non-solid to a point where even the there's nothing that you develop outside of just being near these people, right? For example, you don't even develop relationships or rapport with any of these people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it's not going to be a solid come up. You know what I mean? Because every time you pop out, it's because of dad's money. And when you do pop out, you make a splash that makes a noise in front of the front lines even. You know what I'm saying? Just from a payment, you can get a feature with Wiz. Just from a payment, you get a feature with, you know, 6ix9ine. You feel me? But then again, by the time that, you know, you're supposed to do anything solid with that connection, it's like, dog, you fumble it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say it gives industry plant vibes. It gives industry there definitely should be another word for that kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Industry troll. Nah, not industry troll. Industry bird. You know, I don't know. Maybe, you know, like jail bird, in and out of jail. You know, just or industry hopper. You know what I mean? Like club hopping. Yeah, this club, that club, that I don't know, man. Something, but it's not like planned.
And since he only has,
well, he's an industry harvest at this point because he's been planted so many times, bro. Industry harvest.
18,000 monthly listeners.
Industry Harvey.
Despite all of these features and connections, I'd say it's been a failed attempt. So yeah, Smile's career is crazy and I haven't seen anything like this, so maybe I'll do a full video about it one day in depth. And that brings us to our final industry plant, Icy Narco.
I'm Icy Narco and I deserve to be the XXL freshman because I taught SpongeBob how to play the clarinet.
Now, I think the insane success of the SoundCloud era had labels foaming at the mouth trying to capitalize on it because Icy Narco is a clear-cut Lil Pump clone industry plant. And while making this video, I realized that my definition...
I thought it was Lil Pump having rebranded, bruh. I thought it was Lil Pump's new brand.
...of industry plant may have been a little too strict.
Icy Narco?
So I'm going to bend my definition just a little bit for this section because Icy Narco did have a tiny bit of buzz before he got signed, and he also had a very similar image, but it's still pretty apparent that he's an industry plant being marketed towards a certain audience, and here's why. So Icy Narco began making music in 2016, back when he looked like a normal kid, but he didn't really get much attention. Throughout 2017, he changed his sound and style to be much more similar to that of a Lil Pump or some other trendy
He looks like him
rapper.
too.
His music was very mediocre, but the sound was trendy, so he did garner a small fan base. Songs like You, Viagra, Niagara, and more helped him grow his audience. Because he was already appealing to the Lil Pump type of audience, the label he would eventually sign with didn't have to do much to alter his image. It was already there. They would do some other inauthentic, cringy stuff, but I'll get to that later. All they had to do was just scoop him up and push his mediocre music, which is exactly what happened. Icy Narco signed to 10,000 projects in late 2017 or early 2018 and instantly began blowing up. He even said himself that when he signed to 10K, he hardly had anything and had recently just moved out to LA. This is a label that's worked with artists like Ice Spice, 6ix9ine, Ian Dior, Trippie Redd, Coin, and many more. His first few songs that were released on streaming instantly blew up and he got millions of streams. Icy Narco got a No Jumper interview and was seen with many other artists like YNW Melly and Young Nudy. However, the gimmick wore off quickly and his streams immediately plummeted after his first few songs. And of course, some people were enjoying his music even before he signed, but it was very short-lived and a lot of his views were probably just from people who wanted to check out the new and blue Lil Pump. He dropped his album Winter Can Be Murder in 2019 with 10K and it performed very poorly. It seems like his label even had him link up with Gary Vee.
Was that the only project?
Maybe for publicity or PR.
Of course, for publicity PR.
Decision. Regardless, after 2019, he stopped working with 10K Records and has only released 5 songs since. The reason he didn't work out is because his style was so unoriginal and it was very obvious that the label was just trying to capitalize on this trend. Most viewers were aware of this too, with top comments like, this guy.
I feel like it is the intention of the labels always, you know what I'm saying, to capitalize off of trend, because that's the way of, you know, how business profits, bro. You gotta ride the wave of the trend, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that shit miss you, nigga, because that's missing out on profits, missing out on all that capital. You know what I'm saying?
Rappers in one track, and XXX the Smoke Pump God. And again, I wouldn't say
XXX the Smoke Pump God
bad. It was decent, but it lacked any originality and it was capitalizing on a dying trend. So despite 10K Records planting him in the music industry, he failed to grow. Let me know if you have any other industry plans you'd like me to talk about in the comments below.
Bro, there's like industry plans. Like, I remember when people was throwing the industry plant label on Jack Harlow, man. Who else? Look, man, these days I feel like, okay, Jack Harlow is an artist of what is it, the 2020s, maybe a little bit pre-2020. Yeah, I think a little pre-2020, maybe 2019, 2018, somewhere there. Well, that's when I bumped into his music, you know what I'm saying? Shit was fire. That shit was fire. But I'm just talking about like right now, post 2020, post, you know what I'm saying, this whole world of everything decentralized and all of that. It will be easy to spot somebody who may fit this ignorant description of industry plant, right? Because I would imagine it's easier now to bump into somebody that like looks like they just popped off overnight, but you know what I'm saying, somebody who's played the game the right way, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's like, to the people who are in close proximity to that person that's been putting the work in, they've seen the work, they've seen the, you know, they got all the receipts, they see the documented progression, right? I'm talking about the people who are in that person's immediate environment type shit, right? So those people can attest to the fact that this cannot be industry planned. You know what I mean? To a point where like you chilling where you're chilling, you bump into this artist maybe 10 years down the line of his journey. You know what I mean? But on that 10th year is like the year when he just like blows up so bad that you thinking, oh, he just came out of nowhere. Whereas they are, you know what I mean? But within the circle and the community that he was developing around him. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, with the skill of like independence. Somebody who can master the skill of independence, man, you know, it could be easy to label that person as an industry plant, bro. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's the moves of the people, right? It's how you motion. It's how you, it's how you progress and, you know, carve a way forward without losing the originality of your own uniqueness, man. Your own creativity, your own pocket. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's it. That's all, bro. Narratives around, you know, you being an industry plant because of misconceptions. That's another thing. It's a whole bunch of misconception, bro. That the wrong people can end up having this label. You know what I'm saying? I cannot think of a whole bunch of people now at the top of my head who were wrongfully labeled as industry plants. I feel like, yo, Matty Balls, go ahead and, you know, drop a video about people who were misconstrued as industry plants but came out on top of their game type shit. You feel me? That would be a mad interesting video. I'm not gonna lie. And I see this title over here. No,
Angie Martinez.
No, I'm about to explain it right now, Joe. Chill out. I'm seeing this title right here, right? Doja Cat addresses devil worship rumors with Angie Martinez. You know what I'm saying? And this is the Joe Biden. I almost said Joe Biden. My bad, y'all. Joe Biden podcast, y'all.
Did y'all see Angie Martinez ask Doja Cat about devil worshiping?
No, really?
As soon as I find a thingamajig, I'm gonna play it for y'all. Got it.
Who works in the store thinks you worship the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Is it inside of you to ever clear something like that up, or you just kind of let that be fester in the world?
Yo, first things first, bro. Quick little, you know what I'm saying, intro portion that I just want to come in with. The whole like imagery within music, because that's another thing that these artists be doing. They have this whole imagery of just like, you know, the other side and dark, you know, the darkness and, you know, demons, this, that, and the third, or whatever. You remember even the Lil Nas X music video where he was doing all that thing, all that twerking on the devil type thing. Yo, and then now we bump into artists like David, remember D4VD, and he has all this imagery in his lyrics. And cool, it's all cool and dandy, right? When we consider, no, it's just the music, it's just the creativity, it's the art, it's the fantasy of it all, right? Until something like what David is going through manifests. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yo, these artists have, I feel like we are at a time where they gotta be held accountable to like the things that they be talking about. Like, yo, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
As it wants to.
I think about it a lot.
Really?
I think about it almost every day.
What part of it?
Every single part. Every time. Every pinpoint of when
Don't be ambiguous,
down
bro.
My career.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot.
Yeah, I love that.
And
Get to the point.
It's not for me to prove to people who cannot or don't wish to listen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the harsh reality.
Talk
but
about
I'd
it.
like to stay there. And I feel comfortable there because there's so many other great things happening that I can, instead of ruminating, I can choose to express maybe the way I feel about that thing with music, or with an outfit, or with a painting, or with something. Being creative is really a good outlet for addressing to me personally. But unless somebody asks all the beautiful questions the way you do, I mean, then maybe I can discuss it.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to, I don't ever want to say something that, and I can't, I'm telling you, like in the past, I could not talk. I still honestly am learning how to talk.
You don't say that.
Sometimes I can talk really well, but there's times where if I have a camera on me and there's like a person who's talking to me and I'm distracted by something, or if I had a bad day or something, like all the things in the...
Wait, what does this have to do? What does all these details have to do with like the devil worship allegations? Right? Or the rumors, bro? Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like the one thing that my whole mind latches towards is the fact that it's all this imagery that they have in these songs, bro. And whenever, you know what I'm saying, an artist is asked like a question towards like, what did you mean? Like, what is this? What does this represent? Right? This, that, and the third. And because another thing, you get artists that have, or that go beyond just having the lyrical content of maybe, you know, these weird little themes. But also they go as far as performing, like maybe performing with that weird little costume of the imagery that you're painting lyrically in your songs. You know what I mean? Or you get to the Grammys and you got this costume where it's like a vampire or some shit. You know what I mean? So it's these themes where it's like, yo, you're asked about these things, but then you're not straight up. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're ambiguous about it. No, I couldn't talk before. Now I can express this because of the fact that, you know what I mean, I don't know, you know, the imagery of angels and demons, just like they speak to me. So it's like, why do they speak to you, bro? Why do those things have to help you to speak, bruh, and use your voice, bro? Didn't you go to school? Those things are like taught as well. Things like projecting yourself, like projecting your voice, like use your words. What are words? You know, definitions to words. Like, what are we talking about? Like, why do you have to like be gothic and vampiric to, you know, oh, now I finally have my pocket of expression of things. Nigga, you sure you're not a serial blood drinker? Like, blood donor? No, blood donor.
Biome have to fall together correctly, or else I can't. I can't speak.
All right.
What are we talking about?
What the distinguished panel.
She didn't say shit.
Exactly what I'm saying. What the fuck is she talking about?
But with all of that, I'm kind of with her. Like,
what do you mean, though?
What she's saying is like, yeah, I'll let y'all think what y'all want.
That
ain't
what she said. I didn't even hear that.
That's what she said in the beginning, and then she just started all the word vomit. Okay. She was like, "Yeah, I don't. Do I want to clear it up? Think what y'all want. I don't. I'm much.
Do I want to clear it up? What does that mean? Do I want to clear it up? Huh? What? And then you end up with somebody's chopped up body in the back of her Tesla while she goes and performs somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, yo, we should have seen the picture now in these moments when she was questioned about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she you know, find out she drank the blood. You know, what?
Over here. Think whatever y'all want.
For them little stupid blood covenant things. You know what I'm saying? These little weak ass things, man.
I ain't hear her say that. I heard it.
At one point, she said something about she'd rather just use her art. I'm sorry. At one point, she said something about she'd rather use her art to tell her how it feels when they accuse her of devil. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Nigga, this is giving D4VD vibes, straight up, no cap.
He said a bunch of nothing after that. I'm telling you, all I took from it was, hey, I like its attention.
I like
that's
the
what I heard. Yes,
like the mystique of it.
Yeah, y'all are talking about me. Ooh, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is that? I don't want to clear it up because now I answer the question.
A lot of people don't be too good at talking. Hey, that would put her in this list clearly.
She just wrote a soliloquy and.
Nah, she's terrible at talking.
Said, nothing.
She's terrible at talking.
So I don't make her good at talking.
That's exactly.
She's terrible at talking. She's good at putting a bunch of words together, word vomit. You know what I'm saying? But she's terrible at communicating. That goes with relaying the message. Paint the picture intellectually. She fails at that.
Words out there. True. You are purposefully, in my opinion, being evasive. Yes. Because she could have answered the question with 7 words. Mm-hmm. Instead, she says
with 4 words, nigga. 3.
89 words of nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, and it kind of goes a little bit backwards because when we were talking about Sweetie earlier, the madam mentioned witchcraft. Yeah. I feel like with Doja Cat, they accuse her. Well, most people they accuse of devil worship, and sometimes witchcraft is mixed in it, or either or. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, is there any truth to that from what y'all know that people use witchcraft for real in these industries?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
You watch Sinners?
Yeah, I think no. Yes.
What?
We got family in the South.
Y'all know.
Have you watched Sinners or not, bro? What's up with people, bro?
Devil worshippers?
No, she's saying like just witchcraft. Do people use witchcraft?
I feel like the rumors go hand in hand.
Mike can't come to the cookout. For the black people that got Southern roots.
She said in the industry. I thought we were talking very
I know
specifically.
plenty of people that have practiced witchcraft, if that's the question.
And yes,
I said industry because the madam accused Sweetie
that's what I'm
of using.
I don't. Damn, I don't. Man, I don't know if that makes me twisted. I wish I knew people that were, involved in devil worship, and you know what I'm saying. Just to ask a few questions, man. I'd be curious about this thing. I've seen, some interviews and this that documentaries about this whole thing, but it's like, bro, why? You know what I'm saying? Like the thought process and the reasoning, man. The reasoning behind things like their sacrificial rituals and the necessity of that. You know what I'm saying? Their ideologies on like their meaning of life and their need to duplicate it, replicate life, or take it away or minus life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Interesting philosophy.
Witchcraft. What else would she be using?
And you know somebody in the industry that does.
Oh, that's true.
Witchcraft also, where we come from, is not necessarily synonymous with devil worship.
Bad
it's almost
right.
never synonymous with devil worship.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah. It's almost the opposite.
Did Doja Cat clear y'all? Did she help y'all to realize that she's not a devil
Absolutely not.
No, what she helped me to
she
realize
reinforced it to me.
She reinforced it.
Some questions don't require that much.
Yes, there is a level of reinforcement of that thing. Yeah, in that, like, through her response over there, there is a sense of reinforcement of the rumors.
We shouldn't have to hear your brain coming up with shit to the devil worshiper question. And even if your answer is what Ice picked up, which is, hey, think what you want. That's how easy it is to say that.
But I don't want to. I'm trying to be this mystique. So I'm not just saying think what you want comes off a little blunt. So it's like I'm trying to talk around it and use a bunch of words. And I get what she's doing, and it's a form of trolling, damn near, which is what she's done a lot throughout her career.
Yeah, facts.
And it's a form of attention seeking.
Wait, hold up for a minute. Let me shoot the fear on why.
Yeah.
What trolling? How's the trolling?
Like her
trolling her fans,
cow shit, all of that, the little attention. Like I'm almost. I don't
that.
say poking fun, but I'm trying to put it in the right
The
word.
moo I'm a cow you put on the same level as
not as devil worship, but as the way she's answering the question I'm talking about. It's just I'm being different. That's what it is. It's like, ooh, look at me. I'm doing something different. And I don't want to answer it because now if I answer it, that
it doesn't look. It's not how it looks. I'm just gonna subscribe on the other account. I just realized I subscribed on the wrong account. Don't come for me. I actually trying to subscribe.
I'm just not with. I'm not with trolling being an acceptable answer when somebody is asking you a very direct question.
And a very
like when they
serious
asked
question
Doja Cat about, hey, you was in them chat rooms with the old white men saying nigga, what do you think? And she did kind of the same thing. Like word vomit, evasive. Some people said, oh, she's trolling y'all. No, she's avoiding answering why she was in a chat room with old white people saying nigga. More of the same here. Fans.
Now, her avoiding that, what does that mean? Is that an admission of guilt? Is that because if it ain't happened, it's easy to just like dismiss it, right? Because you don't want that energy on you because it's not authentic. You know what I mean? It's not what you meant it to be. So it's easy to be quick to just push it off of you. Whereas playing around with it and dancing around with it and, you know what I'm saying, painting all these pictures when you're questioned about it, it's like, yo, dog, like, it's none but just you admitting that you have either an involvement in it or yes, it's a confirmation.
It didn't just pop up
on some level, bro. On some ignorant level. I'm not gonna lie, but it is.
You are a devil worshiper. there's been behavior to make people say, oh shit, she worships the devil. We would like a straight answer from that. And if you trolling, then we're going to still pull a straight answer from that, because this ain't the time to fucking troll.
Or if you don't want nobody to know, say none of y'all fucking business. I could do what I want. Or I prefer not to answer that question. Or something to that effect.
Yeah, she
Honestly,
be straight about it.
I'm looking for her to be offended. Even if she answers like how what you were saying as far as her being like, you know, it's a mystique thing or let you think what you want. I'm still looking for a little bit of offense, because when somebody says devil worship, it's almost, it goes against like your success or what you did to do that success. So if I know I'm working hard and I done put myself on these charts and got this far, and you gonna say I cheated using the devil, fuck you, bitch. Hell no, it's not no devil worship. On top of the fact that I don't fuck with the devil, so I'm gonna be offended with my mystique answer.
Yeah,
and she don't get
calm.
mad. She sound relaxed.
She sounds like, to me, like there's nothing you can ask her that's gonna make her go either way. Like, I am literally intentionally trying to be vague. Like you said, they asked her about the chat room shit. It's the same thing. It's like, yeah, I want y'all to just keep talking. And a person that does a lot of attention seeking, they want you to talk. So if I don't answer this, it keeps the conversation going.
Well, we're just going to talk when people was a little off in the head, too.
Oh, it could be that. I'm not.
Okay, let's not.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Let's not just dismiss that DOJA might be.
I mean, we've seen things that could be. But it could be one or the other. We've seen
one or the other.
Or she might be a little off.
Could be both.
Or look at her again.
She's too ambiguous, man.
Attention.
All of that could
or
be
both.
True. All of that could be true, and I don't disagree with any of it. But there's another layer I would add to it, which is, if I were to ask her that question, and she said, no, I don't worship the devil, my next thing would be, okay, you've done X, Y, and Z. How do you explain that, right?
What you mean?
Whatever the explanation for that is, she might not be prepared to answer. Like, she might not worship. Her thing is, I don't worship the devil, but this follow-up is going to get me. Because a lot of times people are involved in things with the occult or other kinds of spiritual practices that the world reads as weird, and she don't want to fall down that rabbit hole. I agree with the word.
But what could be, like, weirder than devil worship, bro? Like, that is the worst. Like, okay, that is among the worst. Like, top 2, not 2, right? That doesn't mean number 2 is better than number 1. It's like, it's all degeneracy. It's all, you know, crazy. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we talking the degrees of degeneracy, bro, like, yo, I'd rather you, you know, be cool with being identified with being involved with the Illuminati than, you know, devil worship.
It's crazy. I agree that she's probably trying to look mysterious.
Nah.
But I suspect there's something else under there too that she don't want to get at. She don't want people to think about.
And what that thing could be is
devil worship.
Devil worship.
Flat out.
Or something that could, because
flat the fuck out.
I know a few people that
that's what it gives.
Do some shit that, like in the.
Yeah, nah, enough with the devil worship thing, bro. Let me just go to the appropriate channel where I can be able to subscribe to this here channel. I mean, yeah, so that, you know what I'm saying, I can show my love here on screen. It's not the channel that has the premium, so y'all gonna have to forgive me on that part, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, what's next to